In this episode, I want to talk to you about filling the void after a loss. The void I'm talking about is that big hole that you're feeling in your heart, the hole that was created after losing an important person in your life. When I work with people grieving a loss, they inevitably share feelings that ebb and flow in their days. One of the most prominent feelings is emptiness. That emptiness is the void I'm talking about. Here's a quote by Aristotle from about 350 years BC. Nature abhors a vacuum. It could also be said in current times that people abhor a void. We like our lives filled in just the way we want it. And if a meaningful segment is pulled out of our lives, we are very uncomfortable. In short, this is a very natural feeling. Maybe you sense that void at different times more than others. Times when you were thinking about your missing loved one, you long to connect with them at that time and in the ways you used to connect. I'd like to share a brief example of my own. After being married for 30 years, I developed automatic reflexes. Anytime I learned something new, I'd make a mental note to share it with my wife. And that reflex, among many others, remained with me for quite a while after she died. I would think, oh, be sure to share that with Deanne when I see her later, only to quickly remember that I wouldn't be sharing it with her because she was gone. And each time, friends, when that happened, it felt like someone punched me in the gut. Do you have any experiences like that? Have you felt the pain of emptiness and loneliness? A longing for that loved one that you lost? Of course you have. Well, let's examine this a bit. What is the natural human response to pain? We instinctively move away from pain. We want pain to stop. We want normalcy to return. And as a griever, you may wish to avoid or escape the pain associated with the void created by the loss of your loved one. And here's where, consciously or unconsciously, you may find yourself trying to fill that void. Does that make sense? Now, I want to tell you this. There's nothing wrong with seeking to fill a hole in your life, but I want to help you avoid using approaches that are more hurtful than helpful. Unhealthy solutions for dealing with your emotional pain include numbing your pain. Now, examples of numbing your pain could include excessive drinking, use of drugs, unhealthy eating, or sometimes retail therapy. Numbing is an effort to cover your pain. Now, if you've tried numbing your pain, you've probably already figured out that doing so offers no lasting relief. At best, numbing relieves pain temporarily. It does not promote healing and typically leads to bigger problems over time. The next unhealthy and very common effort is to reduce our emotional pain by avoidance. Avoiding your pain may involve filling your life with distractions, such as being constantly busy or escaping with endless reading, binging television, social media, gaming, and so on. Avoiding is trying to hide from your pain. As soon as you come out of your hiding place, though, guess what? Your emotional pain will find you immediately. Avoiding simply prolongs the healing process. And, like numbing your feelings, avoiding pain will potentially lead to other negative life issues. The next unhealthy solution for emotional pain is replacement, or you might think of as substitution. Replacing means substituting someone or something to fill your void. You might seek to replace your lost person with another person. But folks, people are not really replaceable commodities. They are new relationships. Even if you remarry or adopt a child or find a new friend, and even if that new relationship ends up working well, you cannot avoid the healing process through substitution. Replacement could also involve things like moving to a new home, a career move, a big project, or a new pet. This type of replacement overlaps with what I talked about earlier, the avoiding, because the replacement isn't a new human relationship, but it provides a significant diversion. My friend, there is nothing wrong with making well-considered life changes, forming new relationships, taking on a project, or acquiring a new pet, per se. It is unhealthy if these decisions are rushed or they get in the way of the grieving process you must experience. So how can you seek to fill your personal void in a healthy way? Well, dealing with the void in a healthy way can involve several things. First, intentionally seek healing. Don't expect that time's going to take care of it all on its own. For example, you are seeking healing by joining and using this program online. Stick with it and actually try the exercises we recommend in each episode. Answer the questions, contemplate the reflections we give you. Second, take your time. Don't make any really big life-changing decisions until you are quite sure you're ready for that change. If you think you're ready for a large life decision, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is your main motivation to get away from your discomfort? Or are you moving towards something in response to a heartfelt passion or to fulfill a lifelong dream or something that's very necessary for you to do? If your motivation is moving towards something that will improve your life, rather than moving away from pain, it is more likely worth pursuing. Okay, let's wrap up this episode now. What do I want you to remember? First of all, do not try to numb your pain. Secondly, do not try to avoid your pain. And thirdly, don't seek any type of replacement. What you do need to do is seek emotional healing and take your time. Here's a stepping stone question for you I'd like you to consider. Which of the unhealthy strategies we covered in this episode do you see yourself doing most often? If you identify with any or all of them, what is one step you can take today toward allowing yourself to grieve rather than to numb yourself, avoid, or find a substitute? Reflection for this episode is the following. You can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. Well, goodbye for now. Be well, and I will see you soon.